Hey guys, CryptoDad here again, and welcome to the live Q&A in LA. I'm doing it a little bit different time this week. It's Tuesday night. It's 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, but I felt the need or the desire to jump online and do a little live stream and talk about what's going on in the market and maybe answer any questions that any of you guys might have. So let's get going. All right, so welcome to the live stream. Let me pop out my chat here so I can take a look at who's here, who's not here. Get going there. So the big story today is Bitcoin made quite a bit of jump late last night, early this morning, I guess you want to call it. And I have a little insight on that, a little interesting story on my part. But let's go over to the demo area. Let's go up here. So last night I have a little app on my phone where I can sort of keep track of the market, and I check it periodically. And we were watching TV, and then last night I checked my app, and Bitcoin was hovering around 41. A little over 41, I guess. Maybe I kept wondering if it was ever gonna, pass 42 or something, and then all of a sudden I noticed that it jumped all the way up to like 4,700, and so I was a little curious, and I started. Hey, Grand Illusion, hi, welcome. VJ, hello. Dean, thanks for joining me. So I was searching around trying to figure out what the heck was happening. And I think, see, they've edited this now. It used to just say, it didn't say April Fools earlier. It just said SEC drops the bomb, approves Bitcoin ETF. And this was last night, late last night. And I saw this, and I read this article, and I read it all the way through, all the way down to the bottom. And it sort of made sense to me, and I thought, well, that must be it. It must be that was what was the big news. And but I like to confirm, so I started doing some more Google searching, and I couldn't find any references to this story anywhere else, and started wondering. And then I went down and reread the very bottom. It said Clayton himself, Clayton is the chairman of the SEC, Clayton himself has remained publicly silent on the matter so far, save for 4 astounding words: Happy April Fool's Day. Now, when I first read that, I thought he was making reference to the fact that they made this decision on April 1st. And then later, I looked at the age of the story, and I noticed that it was 24 hours old, and that the story had been posted early on April 1st, and this was occurring midnight April 1st, just over the mark, maybe a little bit into April 2nd. So I knew that that couldn't possibly be the catalyst for a sudden surge like that. It's usually if it's a news surge, and we're not too sure this was a news surge, it's usually within minutes. What's up, buddy? What? Well, we're gonna have to print another one then. Ask mommy; she'll print you another one. If it is a news surge, it's usually within minutes of the news being released. So I knew that this wasn't, the reason why that Bitcoin surged. But they've since gone back and edited the title. I guess this became a thing. There was a lot of speculation as to what caused the surge, and this story was one of them. But I had already determined that it couldn't possibly have been the story, because the story had been out for 24 hours before the surge. So I guess the speculation is that there was a large buy order placed across several exchanges, which caused you know, the price to go up a bit, and then a bunch of trading bots kicked in that were waiting for price swings, and then short squeezes came in. But the rally seems to have some legs, because if we look at price charts here, we can see that Bitcoin has just crossed the 5,000 mark. Now, I believe it crossed 5,000 on some exchanges last night, but then settled back at 47. It was roughly about 47, 47.20, 47.50 most of the day. And as the evening wore on, it sort of gained a little more traction. And I think the interesting thing, I think people are saying that now Asia markets are open again. There really are no openings and closings of any of these exchanges. Basically, you know, people in Asia are waking up, I guess, if you want to say it like that, because Bitcoin cryptocurrency exchange, any cryptocurrency exchange is open 24/7. You know, you can buy and sell anytime on any of the exchanges. So it's just a matter of when people are up, I guess, more than when markets are open. But here's an interesting one. Bitcoin Cash, 58% run up, which is pretty amazing. I mean, Bitcoin being up 20% isn't all that out of the ordinary. But a 60% surge is quite amazing for Bitcoin Cash. But I would say a lot of these coins are still way off their highs from 2017, and you know, we could say that 2017 was a bubble and all that stuff, but you know, 2018 the coins got beat down really hard, and so as far as I'm concerned, they were way undervalued anyway. They needed to go back up. They just needed some catalyst. And so here we are. Marcio Barreto, thanks for joining me. Grand Illusion. Grand Illusion is still talking about Theta. Apparently, that's one of his favorite coins. I don't believe I've bought any Theta yet, but we've talked about it several times on this show. Of course, it's up as well. I mean, everything's up. It's ranked 63 by market cap. Not too shabby. We can see from the chart, the all chart, that it's been around. It just came out this year. So not a lot of longevity, but, you know, an interesting coin. A lot of interesting coins out there. So I don't see any specific questions. I was wondering, good morning, how do I change the gas settings on the Ledger Nano's Ledger Live? We could check that if you want. It's not really the greatest of ideas to send your Ethereum from your... and I need to grab my Ledger Nano S real quick. So I ran into some trouble trying to send Ethereum from the Ethereum app on Ledger. At the time, it was Ledger, the Chrome apps for Ledger. They would send, but they were constantly failing. So I was going to my Ether wallet. But just so, I'm not even sure if you can still do it or not, so let's find out. There are advanced settings where you can adjust the gas. So I'll show you where those are if you're still curious about that. Let's, cool. I gotta take this real quick. Hey, John. Yes. Okay, John, I'm sorry. I'm right in the middle of something. Can we talk about this tomorrow? I'll make you whole. We'll straighten it out, no problem. But yeah, we're in the middle of dinner right now, so I'll call you back on this. No problem. You got it. Okay. All right. Thanks, John. Ugh. Sorry about that, guys. So I did I get my pin in? Of course not. Not all the way. Let's see what we got here. All right. So I need to go into the manager and add the Ethereum app because I don't have it on here at the moment. It's probably gonna. It might be a little difficult to get into Ledger Live right now. Possibly. There might be a lot of people in Ledger Live. Unfortunately, or fortunately, so to speak, the Ledger devices depend on the servers. Now, don't feel like, if Ledger goes down, you'll lose your cryptocurrency. You're just going to lose your interface. Your private keys are always going to be safe on your ledger, and also your 24-word recovery phrase can also be used to restore certain types of wallets. So, but having said that, you do sort of depend on the ledger servers to verify the device, the authenticity of the device. So I'm going to take off Tron and Stellar here real quick so we can fit Ethereum on. So, but that's part of the way the ledger works. It gets digitally signed, cryptographically signed at the factory, and then when you connect the device, it sends that key, it sends the public key, and then the ledger servers verify the authenticity of the device, by that digital signature. And so that's how you don't, Ledger ensures the integrity of their devices. But the drawback to that is every time you connect the Ledger, it does that verification check on startup. And that's security. But sometimes when Ledger is busy, like during firmware updates and that sort of thing, you can get timeouts. And that can be frustrating. And hopefully, as Ledger moves forward, they're going to improve their depth, so to speak, maybe get some more servers. All right, so now that I have deleted a couple of apps, and let me just repeat again and again and again and again and again, you do not destroy your wallets when you delete your apps, right? We talked about this last week. You actually will, you delete the keys, but they can be easily regenerated by the master private key on the device. And so even though I just deleted my Tron private key, as soon as I re-add the app, it regenerates the exact same key. It's a deterministic algorithm. It always, based on the long private key, the master private key of your Ledger device, it will always regenerate the exact same wallet for you. Right? And you don't have to do anything except add and remove the app. I think I told you guys that last Friday, and someone got confused and started asking me, how do I regenerate these keys? And you don't have to worry about it. It's all done under the hood. All right, so let's go into Ethereum Black. All right, and let's say I want to send a little bit of Ethereum, right? I'm going to need an address, but down here is where we can adjust all of that stuff. You can actually change this, right? You can edit this field and add more gas to your transaction. So you could use 20 instead. They used to have like a advanced settings in the send field, but you can't. Let's see if we do this. Oh, that just takes us to, all right, well, it talks about it, really. So you can increase your gas in that field right there just by entering a larger amount. But the thing is, you know, I don't really know how much that is, how much is it going to cost me. It doesn't give me really any indication until I get to the next screen. So let's get an address. Let me go over to my Ledger White. And I'm just going to go through some transactions where I received. And let's see. There it is. That's the to address, right? Let's just make sure. Right. Okay, so that's the to address of the Ledger White. I have 2 ledgers. So if I want to send from one to the other, right? Okay, they're not gonna. It's not a big deal here. All right, so let's see there. If we do 0.1 ETH, and then we change the gas up. Let's say we go up to say 30 here, and we can hit continue. I'm not gonna. Oh, I need to be in the Ethereum app. It should give me a confirmation. It wants me to confirm the transaction. Yeah, you know what? I don't really want to confirm this one. I can, but I'm not going to. Yeah, I'm just going to refuse it because I don't really want to waste any. But that would be the way to do it. Now, a much better way to send Ethereum from your ledger is with MyEther Wallet. Right? If you go to MyEther Wallet and access your wallet, you already have the wallet established on your hardware, on your ledger, by lieu of having the app installed, and then you know, you're in the Ethereum app, right? And then you can access your wallet. You have a much better. Was it going to work or is it not going to work? Oh, I think I had to change. I had to choose the right address. Okay, so here we have a much more advanced interface for adjusting the gas, right? So let's go back to that that address. That's the address of my Ledger White, so I can send it wherever I want. Let's do our 0.1. Sorry, right? And then down here in advanced, we've got these other, see, we can adjust a little more. I don't know about this data, but we can adjust this here, and it gives you a little more of a, actually the default works pretty well in MEW. And then when you hit send, they give you a little more detailed information about exactly what it is you're doing. Right? So if you're gonna be messing around with Ether and ERC20 tokens, you're much better off using MyEther Wallet to interface with the Ledger private key, the private key that you have on your ledger. So you know, a lot of people talk about putting it into the ledger, and a lot of people, well, how do I get it in the ledger? How do I get it off the ledger? You know, and all this stuff. Really, nothing is going in or out of the ledger when you send cryptocurrency. You're only moving it from one address on the blockchain, which is in the cloud, or the blockchain is a distributed ledger all over the world. You're just moving you're just moving Ethereum from one address to another. The only thing that's entering and leaving the ledger is the confirmation. The private key is on the ledger, and that is what is used to sign transactions, right? So you're not really putting anything in or out of the ledger, but you can use different wallets to interface with the same addresses, right? I can use Ledger Live to interface with this, or I can use MyEther Wallet. You can also use the Tron wallet, the Stellar wallet. All of these wallets are interfacing with the same device and just accessing those private keys. I got a lot of questions about my ADA videos. You know, what about, you know, what if the ADA light goes down? Then what? Okay. Well, then you can use the other one, right? Whatever, the Yori. You know, they're both interfacing with the same private keys. All right, guys. Okay, thank you. Oh, let's see. I think there's a correction in prices coming 1 or 2 weeks. I couldn't invest enough. Well, you know, from experience, these price runs, there's always a pullback. I mean, I think it's just human nature that there'll always be a pullback when the prices go up. You know, as you can see right now, the market's just going nuts. And it might go nuts for another day or two. But even in 2017, you know, in the run-up to 20,000 or near 20,000 for Bitcoin, they were constantly, you know, Bitcoin would go up 1,000, and then the next day it would go down 1,000, you know, or it'd go up by 3,000 and then go down by 1,500 the next day or a couple of days. So it was very volatile on its way up. So don't believe that it's never going to go back down again. But my hope is that we're going to see up and down swings that are going to be heading up all in the long run, so to speak. Which coin do you use most often? Say for convenience reasons, BCC. Well, for convenience, I go with Litecoin. Litecoin is fast and cheaper than Bitcoin. That's really what its use case is all about. So if you've ever watched my videos, I usually start with Litecoin. I usually would start on Coinbase. I buy Litecoin. Let's say I want to buy something that's not on Coinbase, right? I want to fund a transaction on, say, Binance or Bittrex. I always go with Litecoin. I buy the Litecoin on Coinbase. I put it in Coinbase Pro, and then I transfer it to Bittrex. And that transfer from Coinbase Pro to Bittrex takes place in a matter of minutes, as opposed to Bitcoin, which could take, you know, 30, 40, 50 minutes sometimes when things are busy. So Litecoin is the faster, more, and the fees are lower. I mean, it's like an everyday, you know, go-to coin for just getting things done, right? And I'm assuming that as adoption grows, that Litecoin will be accepted in a lot of places, right? There's a lot of nice, convenient Litecoin wallets that you can use. All right, so let's see here. Do you know of any crypto credit card decentralized? Don't know of any crypto credit cards per se. I'm sure there will be some out there. I don't know. It's a little bit of a contradiction in the whole idea of cryptocurrency is sort of meant to be something you have and hold. It's not based on debt, so to speak. I don't know if you mean like cryptocurrency friendly credit cards or credit cards that will allow you to purchase cryptocurrency. There were some credit cards that banned cryptocurrency transactions. I don't know that you can buy on Coinbase with a credit card. I know you can with a debit card, but maybe not a credit card. That was me asking about the keys. I'm a noob, but I'm learning. Oh, thank you. Linux Lewis, yeah. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people get confused. And it took me several months to even wrap my head around what Bitcoin was. And I was mining, you know, back in the old days, you know, 2013, 2014. So I was, you know, constantly checking my mining rig to see exactly how much, you know, I had mined that day. I was in a mining pool and I was watching it come in. So it took me a while to sort of figure out what blockchain was and how much I was making per day, and I was watching my rates go up and down and that sort of stuff. So, and I had a vested interest in it because I was in it to sort of recoup my expenses. I paid $350 for the miner on eBay. Oh, wow. So, and back then Bitcoin was around $200 a Bitcoin. So it took a year and a half for me to actually break even. And even then, what with the extra power costs, it wasn't really breaking even. But so that's where I started, and it's been years. So don't feel bad if it's, and you have to know a little bit about something, a little bit about cryptography as well, public, private key pairs, that sort of thing. So don't feel like the Lone Ranger if you can't wrap your head around all the terminology right away. You please help me. My ledger keeps booting for 4 times now. Do I need to do anything to reach 100? Robert, the only thing I can say is, sometimes the Ledger live, when things are busy, times out, so just unplug the Ledger, reconnect it, re-add the pin, try again. When all else fails, reboot your computer, relaunch live, reconnect the device, re-enter the pin. Just keep trying, a lot of time, and don't just keep trying over and over again without changing things, right? So don't just keep trying to load live without disconnecting and reconnecting the ledger, right? You need to do more than just keep butting your head against the wall. You need to start over, start fresh, reboot the computer, maybe uninstall, reinstall the Ledger live, whatever you have to do. If the Ledger is like broken or something, then you need to call Ledger support and get that thing checked or replaced. But like I said, if it's, when you say stuck on boot, I don't know exactly what you mean by that. I think what you're trying to do is just let Ledger Live load. So like I say, just keep trying. Oh yeah, you can use, there's lots of ways to use Ledger Live. Now, I think a Ledger Nano S. But you always, to get the apps on and off, you need to go to Manager, really. So the Manager is your go-to interface. You always need to get start at Ledger Live Manager to get the apps that you need on and off. Let's see here. I think I just confirmed a transaction I didn't want to confirm. That's okay. I was sending it to myself anyway. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to take Ethereum off and put ADA on and do like that demo of the ADA wallet, because ADA has increased quite a bit over the last day. And as you can see, look, it's taking forever to load. Right, it's taking a lot longer than usual. So I'm going to uninstall the Ethereum app. I think I may have confirmed this transaction. I don't know what I was doing. It's probably fine.
I thought they would have hated it.
Yeah. All right. So let's let it uninstall Ethereum, and then I'm going to put the ADA app on there, and we can play around with some ADA.
Okay, now you can shoot me.
Yeah, I can use the Yori wallet. All right, let's put ADA on there. A Cardano ADA app. I can't wait for the Ledger Nano X. Their claim with the Ledger Nano X is that it will hold hundreds of these apps, and it is really starting to wear thin on my patience to have to swap apps on and off the device constantly. I mean, it's good practice, and we'll all laugh about it next year when we all have Ledger Nano X's. Do you remember that silly Ledger Nano S that we had to, never had enough room for the apps that we needed? Or you could buy 4 or 5 different Ledger Nano S's and put a few different apps on each one and kind of keep your crypto separated that way. But then you're still have the problem of connecting and reconnecting the right ones when you want to use coins. All right, so we got ADA on here. Now we've got the ADA app on the device. So let's go into the ADA app, right? And there's a private key for ADA on this device. Funny, you just watched it get regenerated, right? I had deleted it. It was gone, completely gone. And then when I added the app, the Ledger Nano S did its cryptographic magic and regenerated the exact same private key because it's following a set algorithm, which incorporates its master private key. It feeds that master private key into the algorithm and generates a key for each cryptocurrency that it supports. So let's go to this Yori wallet. Let's do it. We'll go over to Yori, right? Let's log out. I want to log out. If I can. Oh. See, I'm not that familiar with this guy. How can I log? Is this it? No. How do I log out? All right. Well, see, I'm not that familiar with Yori. Oh, da-dee-da-da. Settings. Wallet. Yori Ledger. Oh, okay. All right. Well, it seems like once you set up your wallet, it's always going to be there, right? Ugh. All right. I give up. Now you can log out of the let's start over. You can log out of the Ada Lite wallet and like maybe hit another device, but as you can see, it's reading the cryptocurrency that's currently in this device. So there's 300 Ada in this Yori Ledger wallet, and all it's doing is reading the private keys of the device or the public key, right? Let's do Ada Lite. Same, different interface, same key, right? Continue. I'm not going to create a new wallet. I'm just going to go to hardware. I'm going to choose Ledger. Oh, and I need to export the public key here. See, it wants me to export the public key and confirm. Waiting for... You know what? I got the wrong ledger on here. I don't know why this other guy thinks I have anything in here. I still can't figure out how to get out of this thing. I'm not that crazy about this wallet. It doesn't even realize that I have logged out. No, I'm not going to do any of that. Anyway. It's empty. This is empty because it's the black. It's not the white. I think I did this on Friday too. So let's put the white on there. And we're going to have to go through that whole rigmarole again. We're going to have to... What's up, buddy?
It's not Friday.
I know it's not Friday. He knows it's not Friday. It's Tuesday.
Yes.
It's Tuesday. That's right. Dad, come on. It's not Friday. Yeah. All right. So let's go back here again. It's probably going to want me to allow Ledger on the device, which I'm going to do. And I'm going to take off ontology, put ADA on, and then we can do some transfers. You see, it's a good thing I went to Ada Lite. Then I realized that I was dealing with the wrong ledger, because Ada Lite was a little more accurate when it went to read the. I don't know why I couldn't get out of this Yori thing. Just really frustrating. Yeah, see, that is a wallet that's not even connected right now. That was the wallet that I used when I set it up. But I have no way of logging out of it for some reason. Unless I'm just daft here. Probably me. Alright, so we should have access here. Let's get rid of the ontology. I don't need that one anymore. You need to uninstall the wallet in order to switch wallets. It cannot support multiple wallets yet. Just delete it and re-download it. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that's. I mean, most of the other web-based or browser-based wallets have some sort of logout feature that allows you to log out and switch to a different device. But thank you for that, Skinsky7. Yeah. And I guess like I said, one of the reasons I was confused was because most wallets have, like, here you see it says log out. It lets you log out of the wallet and connect a different device if needed. All right. So what are we? We're installing Ada. It should work. Okay. Just not there yet. Okay. I'll do an Ada exchange, but you send me yours first. I remember back in 2017, I was constantly getting people begging me for 20 Ripple, because the Ripple wallets all needed, all right, 20 Ripple. All right. Okay, here we go. All right, so we're in Cardano. Sorry it's not very clear. It's hard to get this thing to focus right. Let's log out of this. Let's log back in using Ledger, and it wants me to do that export key thing. Yori does that too when you first install it, right? It has you export the key as well. Okay, so now you can see there's some ADA in there, right? So who wants to send me an ADA address? Yeah, I'm ready to send. I'll be the first to send. And then Daedalus is a good wallet for storing your ADA. I don't have any problems with Daedalus. But it is a desktop wallet, so you are, you know, it's not like a hardware wallet. So there is a small danger if you don't have good security on your computer of being infected with some kind of malware that might steal your crypto. So you're much better off with the hardware wallet, because the private keys never leave the device. Put receive up on the screen. Okay, watch this. Where are we here? Come on, send ADA. Receiving address. Copy to clipboard. Hi. I'm not getting a QR code though. I would like to see that QR code. Hey, there it is. All right. All right, that's an ADA receiving address. All right. All right, and Skinsky just sent his ADA address. So let's do this. I'm going to copy that into my clipboard. All right. While he's doing that, let's go to send, right, to his address. Whoops. Yeah. All right, and I'm going to send 15 so it doesn't get too confusing, right? Because if I send him 10 and he sends me 10, it's going to look weird. It's going to be 10, 10, and you're not going to know who sent who. So I'm going to send him 15, and then I'm going to confirm on the device, right? Let's hit that check mark, and I'm going to send the ADA. It also wants me to hit both buttons there and confirm the address by hitting both buttons, and the transaction fee, which is small. And then I'm going to confirm the entire thing, and then you'll notice on the screen it's gonna do something, right? There it goes. So it was a little tricky to figure that one out because it wasn't quite clear to me what it, I mean, it just had a something on the ledger, and I had to hit both buttons. It didn't say press both buttons. It just said, you know, here's your amount, and then, you know, it wanted to know the address was there, and I had to hit both buttons again, and then I had to hit both buttons again for the transaction. Then I got the check mark. So it was a little kind of odd, right? So I sent out 15.169884. And we can even view that on AdaScan and see that I sent that out. There's the 15 that I'm sending to him, and then there's that fee that got paid on the Ada network. All right. Oh, he wants me to use Yori. Okay, I can use Yori because it's already set up for this wallet, right? Come on, baby. All right. All right, there it is. All right, so you can see the send transaction is there, right? And then he said do that, right? He wanted me to do that. Skinsky7 says, go to the Yori and hit receive, right? That's the receiving address of the wallet. All right, so that's that. So hopefully you guys get a better idea of you know, how to move cryptocurrency back and forth. Really, the main thing to remember is when you want to send cryptocurrency anywhere, doesn't matter what kind of cryptocurrency it is, you need to get a receiving address of where you want that cryptocurrency to go. So if you're on your exchange and you're trying to do a withdrawal, you would get the receiving address of your wallet and paste that in to the cryptocurrency exchange when you do your withdrawal, right? That's the destination, from the exchange to your wallet. If you're going the other way, if you're trying to get money or crypto from your wallet back onto an exchange so you can cash out, right? Then you would do the opposite. You would go to the exchange and hit, let's do that. Let's do that. Let's go to Binance. Let's log in. Let's get our two-factor authentication. All right, and let's go to funds, and let's go to ADA. There's a little bit there. Now I want to deposit ADA, right? So it's going to say, okay, here's your ADA deposit address. I'm going to copy that. let's go back over to Yori, right? And let's go to send. And the wallet address will be the address of my cryptocurrency exchange. How much am I going to send? I got 292 available. So let's send 50, right? Just for the heck of it. All right. It's going to give me a breakdown of everything here, where I'm sending it to, how much I'm sending, and the fee, right? I'm going to send using my ledger. All right. And then it's going to ask me for that confirmation, right? Yes. Will you? Yeah. Send transaction. Yes. Send ADA. There it goes. I need to hit both, right? Hit both. Confirm the address. Confirm the transaction fee with both fingers. And then confirm the whole thing over again. It's kind of an odd cycle that I have to go through, but it's good. I'm done, right? All right, so I just sent 50 from here to my Binance account, right? So we can go over here to balances.
7-6.
Oh, not balances. We're going to go to transaction history, right? And we're going to have to wait a bit before we see was that a deposit? Yeah, a deposit. Okay. All right, so we'll see that 50 ADA coming in fairly soon. ADA doesn't take that long. Outgoing. So that has to confirm, right? It's got a low confirmation value at the moment, right? I just sent it. So it needs to be confirmed on the blockchain. As you can see, the 15 that I sent earlier has a high, right? Now it's got a medium, right? It's going out. Right. We'll see it pretty soon here. Oh, he's just leave it up. Okay, I'll leave it up. There we go. It's still up. Yeah, so when you have these password issues, that's one of the other reasons that I use the password manager. Right, so my 1Password, I have the desktop version of it, right? That's installed on my computer. And I can use it for all my password needs. And then also the 1Password browser extension interfaces with it. So it has access to all of those passwords. And plus it's on my phone. So if I forget a password, whether I'm on my computer or on my phone or wherever, I have access to those passwords. If, in fact, I stored it properly. Sometimes, you know, it could be a site that I'd never stored the password for. So I'm still in that same boat. But that happens to me quite a lot. You know, I can't remember what the password was, especially when you choose long and complicated passwords. So a good password manager, it has lots of benefits. One, you always have access to those passwords, those pesky passwords that are you're always being asked for. And then the other is it's much more secure than saving your passwords in your browser. It's not bad saving them in a browser, better than using the same password over and over and over again. But if you're going to store your passwords, they're safer in a password manager than they are in the browser. The browser doesn't encrypt the file very well, right? If someone has access to your computer locally or remotely, they might be able to gain access to your browser passwords. Much more difficult for an attacker to gain access to your password manager passwords. All right, well, let's see here. Yes, he did send me 10. Yay. All right, so we went back and forth, right? I sent 15 out, and he sent 10 back in. I wanted to make them different so that it would be obvious the outgoing and the incoming, right? So we just were able to send each other cryptocurrency. I don't know where Skinsky7 is. It doesn't matter. I don't need to know his real name. I don't need to check his expiration date on his card. I don't have to verify his check with a bank to know whether he is good for the money or not. With cryptocurrency, the only thing we need to know is our address. It's just like cash, right? If I go to pay at a store with cash, they're not going to ask me my name, my bank account number, or my credit card number, or my expiration date, or any of that. I don't need to give them any of that. My zip code. If I've got cash, they can accept it and give me merchandise. The same with cryptocurrency. It's just a digital way to exchange value without having to gain a lot of, personal information from each other. All we need to know is our address, and and that's it. He sent me some, I sent him some, and and then let's do a refresh here and see if that ADA is coming in yet in my cryptocurrency. Not yet. All right. Well, it hasn't started the confirmation yet in Binance, but it will eventually. What's up, buddy?
I have one scissors.
Okay. I don't know what happened to your scissors. Oh, go get the ones from Mommy. These scissors are a little more. Alex is 6 and he loves to cut. He's a good cutter. He's really good with the scissors. All right, well, we might be here all night. No, we won't be here all night. It'll take a little while. But you have to be patient with cryptocurrency. John Adamson from... I know where you live, but I'm not going to tell everyone else. Good to have you here on the live stream. Yes, there is a learning curve with Password Manager, and they can be quite tricky to use sometimes. My experience with my Password Manager was I used it on my phone for a couple of years before I ever put it on my computer. I wasn't that crazy. Have a safe trip home. I always used it from my phone, and I would just, if I had a password I needed, I would pull it up on my phone in my Password Manager app, and I would make it big so that I could read it, and then I would type it in. And that was how I used that Password Manager for a long time. When I used it on my computer, it sort of gets in the way until you learn how to use it. It is a little obtrusive to a certain extent. And sometimes it wants you to save things that don't need to be saved, especially when you're using two-factor authentication. Like when you go to enter the two-factor authentication, sometimes it wants to save that, and you don't need it to save that. There's a bank interface that has 3 fields. It has a number, a username, and a password, and Password Manager doesn't save that right? The Password Manager only saves usernames and passwords. So yeah, it can be a little wonky to use sometimes. I'll admit to that. But once you get the hang of it, and it took me, a while to get the hang of it, it works better than the old way, but not quite as convenient. The old way was you went over to Binance and it was your username and password were in yellow, already pre-filled, right? And all you had to do was click log in. Here, I have to go and do this number and then click this and it autofills. But it's more secure. Yeah. I would donate to way more people if it was anonymous and I didn't have to type in my name and address every time. Yeah, that's for sure. You know, and also, there's that ADA finally coming in. The thing about cryptocurrency, it enables micropayments so that, you know, I don't mind donating someone an eighth of a cent, you know, and if that person gets like several thousand people donating him eighth of a cent, you know, it starts turning into some real money. So it's no skin off my back to donate an eighth of a penny to somebody's website, and they don't need to know anything about me, right? Now, an interested party might know my IP address and that kind of stuff, but usually the person that I'm sending to is just another guy just like me. He's not trying to get that information from me. All right, so we sent some ADA to our cryptocurrency exchange by going to the deposit interface and getting the deposit address. So that's your main obstacle for cryptocurrency. Yeah, and if we can just micropay, you know, even less than a penny, yeah, you'll see micropayments a big thing in the future. BAT, Basic Attention Token, is sort of in that game too. All right, guys, I told my wife I wouldn't spend an hour and a half tonight, so I'm going to wrap it up. Thanks for joining. We've got Bitcoin over 5,000, so we're all pretty happy tonight. You can see Litecoin's on a tear. Bitcoin Cash is on a tear. Cardano is on a tear. So best of luck to you guys that owned it before it started going up. And, you know, if you're going to jump on the wagon, just don't spend money you can't afford to lose. That's all I can say. Don't spend your rent money on cryptocurrency. But if you got a little loose cash laying around, you want to jump in, by all means, check out some of my videos. There's a lot of good information on the mechanics of how you go about purchasing cryptocurrencies. So thanks for everything. Yeah, VPNs, they're good for privacy and encryption. So I'm going to sign off, guys. Thanks for joining me. Don't forget, I'm still doing the live stream on Fridays. Every Friday night, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Join me for the live Q&A from LA. Throw out any questions that you have, and we'll see if I can get them answered. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you'd like to subscribe to my channel, I would appreciate it. When you subscribe, there's a little bell that you can click that will allow you to be alerted whenever I post new content. Once again, thanks for joining me, and hope to see you again soon. Thanks again.